Last cycle, we studied the Birmingham Campaign and the Children's March of 1963. And these protests were successful because they put the civil rights movement on a national stage. John F. Kennedy saw the pictures of the German shepherds attacking the protesters and the firemen hosing down the protesters. He saw these pictures on television and in the newspaper, and he said that the violence sickened him. And he said this was a moral issue that our country was facing. So the next month after the demonstrations in June of 1963, John F. Kennedy proposed legislation for Congress to enact a civil rights bill that would end segregation in the United States. Well, that was in June. Nothing much happened in July, and then in August of 1963, to continue to build on this momentum from the protest in Birmingham and to put pressure on the president and Congress, Martin Luther King Jr. and the other civil rights movement leaders organized a large scale demonstration in Washington, D.C. on August 28, 1963, and this became known as the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. As mentioned, Dr. King wanted to put pressure on Congress and our government. It was led by the NAACP, the Southern Christian Leadership Coalition, and the SNCC, the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. The leaders hoped for over 100,000 marchers, but over 200,000 marchers came that day. It was extremely peaceful and it was extremely productive, and it has become known as the March on Washington. It was at this march that Dr. King delivered his famous I Have a Dream speech on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial in front of the National Mall, and this became one of the defining moments of the civil rights movement.